Alex Pretty died for a man who basically had sped and gone too fast in his car. I don't think his death, killed in the streets by his own country's officers, is worth that, do you? Can you let me finish, sir? Can you let me finish, sir?
Yeah, but you're lying.
Could you let me finish?
Lying. Why
Could you let me finish? Have you been in Minnesota recently? Have you been in Minneapolis? Have you watched it? Because I have,
no,
and I can tell you.
why the hell would I want to go to Minnesota?
Right, okay, because you believe what you want to believe. I'm telling you what I saw. I'm telling you what I saw for myself.
Do you know the number, Lewis, since you're so factual and you have the history report? How many?
How many
57 died under Obama.
Yes, and you know what else? And you know what else I know? You know what else I know? That there was a federal process.
Let me finish.
You're about to watch a heated exchange on Piers Morgan Uncensored between Louis Goodall and Vincent Oshana over the fatal shooting of Alex Pretty in Minneapolis involving ICE agents. And as this unfolds, keep an eye on Vince, because the more the facts corner him, the faster he starts blinking and the louder and redder he gets, as if volume and outrage can substitute for answers.
Legal American citizens are worried about being picked up and detained for however long, going to church, going to the supermarket, picking up their kids from school. No one in the United States, even Trump voters, voted for that. Much less did they vote for the killing of American citizens on American streets. And just to pick up what Vinny said, look, there is a reason that these people, many of these people, Rennie Good and Alex Pretty, completely model American citizens. No criminal record, simply people concerned about what is going on in the community. Why are they out observing, just observing, not interfering, observing what ICE is doing?
That's a lie.
No,
That's a lie.
let me finish, Vinny, let me finish.
You're lying.
Observing, no, I'm not.
You're lying.
I saw it for myself. Observing.
Renee Good was driving her car and barricading it.
Can you let me finish, sir?
Lewis,
can you let me finish, sir?
Yeah, but you're lying.
Could you let me finish?
You're lying. Why
Could you let me finish? Have you been in Minnesota recently? Have you been in Minneapolis? Have you watched it? Because I have,
no,
and I can tell you.
why the hell would I want to go to Minnesota?
Right, okay, because you believe what you want to believe. I'm telling you what I saw. I'm telling you what I saw for myself.
You think Renee Good?
I'm telling you what I saw for myself, my own eyes. People are observing, and why are they observing, sir? They're observing because they know that the federal government will lie about what ICE agents are doing. They have done that repeatedly. They do not wait, as any normal government would do, for an investigation. They do not wait for the facts to emerge. They do not wait to interview observers and people who were there. They simply decree almost instantly that anybody involved is a domestic terrorist. We have seen those lies about Alex Pretty exposed for what they are. He was not trying to massacre anyone, as the Department of Homeland Security claimed. He was observing because he knows that the federal government will lie. If these citizens don't come out and do what they do, they know there can be no justice. They know that these ICE agents will be able to act with impunity. And the proof of the pudding in that is what we have seen with Alex Pretty. If those observers were not there, then he would have been shot in the back as he was, with his gun in his holster, and the federal government would have lied about it. We would have had to believe what they said. Instead, we were able to see, because of the peaceful observations of the people there, we were able to see the truth, which is this was a man who was shot in the back, who was posing no threat whatsoever to those ICE officers. And even the reason that they were there in the first place proved to be a lie. That is the ICE officers. Why did ICE say they were there? They said they were there. No, let me finish. They said that they were there to detain an Ecuadorian, an illegal Ecuadorian, who was an ardent criminal. What did it turn out? The Minnesota Department for Corrections made clear when they got the name of this person. His only violations, illegal, yes. Was he a violent criminal? No. He'd had a few traffic violations on his record. Alex Pretty died for a man who basically had sped and gone too fast in his car. I don't think his death, killed in the streets by his own country's officers, is worth that, do you?
But Lewis, all right, but before I go to Gillian, Lewis, but what would you do, right? You're in charge of Homeland Security in the United States. You know millions and millions of people have come in the last 4 years illegally. They're in America. All right? There's a lot of anger about that with a lot of Americans. You've just seen Donald Trump come in with a thumping win on a mandate of dealing with this. If you don't do it the way they're doing it, how do you get these people, identify them, bring them to justice and deport them if they're committing crimes?
I would do two things, Piers. I would obey the law and I would pass immigration reform. If you obey the law, President Obama, Vinny's already said it for himself, President Obama was called the deporter-in-chief. He managed to deport millions of illegal citizens, illegals. He did that, and he didn't need to do that by employing what is basically a poorly trained paramilitary force operating with impunity, attacking citizens of the United States. And moreover, if you were to do
Piers,
what has long been necessary in America, which is comprehensive immigration reform, the bargain should have always been, the Democrats get what they want, which is a pathway to citizenship, particularly for children who have come over undocumented, but the Republicans get what they want, which is a bolstering of the border. That has been tantalizingly close multiple times. Normally, it's been Republicans, including now the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio, when he was in the Senate, who walked away from it because they thought it was a good political issue for them to do. You do not need to deal with immigration by breaking the law.
Can I have 1 minute?
All right, very quickly, Vinny, and then Gillian.
How many ICE detainees died? How many detainees, illegals died under Obama? Do you know the number, Lewis, since you're so factual and you have the history report? How many?
How many
57 died under Obama.
Yes, and you know what else? And you know what else I know, Vinny? You know what else I know? That there was a federal process.
Let me finish. You said the Biden administration lost control. This is your direct quote. They lost control of the border.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you are full of you-know-what. All right, it wasn't lost control. It was on purpose. They opened the border to flood the country to bring in their damn votes.
Well, how would they have been able to vote if they weren't citizens?
Excuse me,
all right.
Let me finish. When Texas, the governor put a freaking barbed wire, the White House sued them and sent trucks to lift it up to bring these illegals. Enough of your nonsense. And don't talk about churches. You're talking about they're scared in churches. Look what the hell happened recently with the churches where the 2 BLM people came in there and the report just came out that they were telling the kids.
You know what? It sounds like you're
Nazi,
saying, Vinny, that Rennie Good and Alex Pretty had it coming, and it's disgusting.
Lewis.
What makes this exchange so important is that without observers like Lewis pressing for clarity and without recorded evidence, this entire story would already be settled by whatever narrative those in power wanted to push. Because again and again, we see that when there are no cameras, no witnesses, and no one willing to challenge official talking points, the truth becomes optional and accountability disappears entirely. That is why Vince spends so much time trying to drag the conversation away from the video and away from what actually happened. Because the moment you accept that evidence matters, his entire argument collapses. And instead of dealing with that reality, he reaches for noise, immigration, talking points, election conspiracies, anything that might distract from the simple fact that a man is dead, and there is footage that raises serious questions about why and how it happened. I want to hear your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like the video, and if you haven't already, hit subscribe and check out the next one.